Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating, yes? Taking thought forward, yes? Remembering who you are, coming into alignment with who you are, working the bugs out of your vibration a little bit, feeling happier, contributing who you are, both with your words and with your beingness, bringing the experience that life has caused you to be here to this room, not just what life has caused you to be that you have let in and are manifesting, but what life has caused you to be that you have launched forward in a vibrational way, that you have become in terms of your non-physical countenance. In other words, what's in your vibrational reality, the things that you have asked for that you are not quite yet demonstrating, still you bring all of that you to this gathering too. You are so much more than you ever know. No matter how close to alignment you become, you can't, from your human perspective, comprehend your you-ness. You don't understand your value, but we do. In fact, that's the battle that you fight with those like us, with your inner being, with your non-physical source all the time. You don't let yourself know your greatness, your wholeness, your goodness. You don't let your blessings in because you've got some bogus belief about yourself and about others, about both you and others, that causes you to hold vibrational patterns that don't really let you love the way you naturally love or know what you naturally know. And that's really the greatest value that we see in these interactions, because as you come willing to play with us, willing to listen to us, both with your ears but with your vibrational beingness, you come closer in these hours that we are together to your true vibrational resonance than you do at any other time, other than when you're sleeping or meditating or loving someone with all of your heart. Sometimes when you let your guard down, you love the way you naturally love, and oh, does that ever feel good to you when you do it? But mostly, and we love you so much, you've got yourself blocked off from who you are, and that's why you feel insecure or unsteady. That's why your heart hurts sometimes. That's why you get your feelings hurt. That's why someone, maybe not even deliberately wanting to hurt your feelings, can deliver a piece of information to you that hurts your feelings. They mean well when they tell you you've got spinach between your teeth, but it never feels good. It never feels good for someone to find some flaw in you and point it out to you for your own good. If you are doing something for someone's own good, you have trained yourself into love so that it's easy for you to love, and you love mostly, and when you see them, you love. You don't look for reasons not to. You don't try to justify your insecurity by trying to tear someone else down. You look for reasons to uplift. That's who you naturally are. That's who you are. So you have guidance within you that lets you know how vibrationally in sync you are with the whole of who you are. And the reason that we talk about that topic mostly is because who you are in any moment in time is the reason that you feel the way you feel. And by who you are, what we mean, how much of you focused in your human perspective, with your human personality and your human attention. We're saying this fantastic part of you that has come forth to focus into this time and place in order to create. As you look around, you're not the only part of you who's looking around, and you're not the only part of you who is noticing things. But the thing that we so want you to know is that the non-physical you, your inner being, who is right there with you in every waking moment, noticing things, is noticing things from the love that is you. And when you do less than that, then you feel slightly to greatly diminished, because you're not presenting yourself in your wholeness. You're presenting yourself in your pinched off version. When you feel insecure, that's the pinched off you. When you feel angry, that's the pinched off you, even though the pinched off you has great justification for being the pinched off you. If you gathered other pinched off yous, if you gathered the pinched off of the world, and most are to some degree, most would agree with you sometimes that you have every justification for the negative emotion that you're feeling, because you did witness something that you didn't like. You did witness some injustice, but still, witnessing an injustice still pinches you off from who you are. So how do you work this out, Abraham? Because there's so much that I look around and see that doesn't feel good to me when I see it. And we say, that's all right. You're having a step one moment where you know what you don't want, which causes an equal knowing what you do want. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, even if you are not consciously ready to acknowledge what you do want. When you witness something that is an injustice as far as you're concerned, or really something that doesn't match with the patterning that you've been programmed with by those who you've met up as you've been moving along your physical trail, you try to teach each other all of these rights and wrongs. As you find something that you've concluded is one of those wrongs, and how you ever sort that out is an impossible task. And we give you a whole lot of credit for constantly trying to segregate this world into rights and wrongs and goods and bads, because you came as a body of consciousness knowing that you would experience so much diversity and so much contrast and so much variety, that only with all of that variety and contrast could you, as a very powerful and deliberate creator, could you ever come to any conclusions about what you prefer. And further, you knew that when you found those preferences, that others would be finding their preferences too. And you knew when you decided to come into this body that the preferences that you came to the conclusions of would not all be the same preference. You knew that. You knew that you would want from your unique perspective, and you knew that others would too. And you never intended for a moment to try to corral them into some way of thinking. You never expected to be someone who would move beliefs among the population. Instead, you knew that you would honor the beliefs of the variety of the masses, and that from that collective experience that you would come to your personal conclusions, just in the same way that the artist stands before his canvas with his palette of colors and textures and makes his individual choices about what colors he chooses and where he places them in his picture. That's exactly what you intended to do. And not one of you said, I'll go forth and wait for them all to get a clear view, and then I will come forth and I will do exactly as, let's see, which group of them should I follow? There seems to be rivers and currents of decisions, most of them hateful, most of them pushing against each other. You did not say, I will come and I will join the loudest group. I will join the group that pushes against in the strongest, most effective way. You said, I'll come, I'll live, I'll feel, I'll decide. And most of all, you said, I will feel the perspective of my inner being, who has lived so long with me and who has come to know and be so much with me. And I will choose that which resonates most deeply with who I am, which means you intended to choose upliftment and love for others and for yourself. And that's the piece that we most want to emphasize with you as we're playing together with you today, because you just can't be mad at somebody else without shooting yourself in the foot. And you intended to feel good about you. You intended to let the whole of who you are flow into your experience. And so that's what we are after as we are playing here together today. We want you to realize who you are. We want you to find clarity about who you are. We want you to remember who you are, and most of all, we want you to practice being who you are.